This time on the greats, Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space. Music legend, Patti Smith. Basketball wizard, Magic Johnson. And Franklin D. Roosevelt, America's best-loved president. But first, Hedy Lamarr. Any girl can be glamorous, she once said. All you have to do is stand still and look stupid. The woman who delivered the quote, Hedy Lamarr, was in her day frequently dubbed the most beautiful woman in the world. But there's a huge irony here, because it was actually Hedy's brain that made her stand out from the glamorous pack of 1940s screen goddesses. For unbeknownst to many, the screen siren is credited with inventing an early form of the spread spectrum, a key technology behind modern-day wireless communication. Born Hedwig Eva Maria Keisler in November 1913 in Vienna, Austria, she found worldwide notoriety when she appeared in the 1933 Czech film Ecstasy, which featured scenes of her swimming in the nude and in the throes of sexual passion. Tame by today's standards, the film shocked MGM boss Louis B. Mayer, but he was still happy to cash in on the publicity. He swiftly signed her to a contract when she made it to Hollywood. But first, she had to escape from her Austrian husband, Friedrich Mandl, who ruled the roost with a rod of iron. In 1937, she escaped from their castle home, allegedly by drugging a maid and borrowing her clothes. She made her American film debut in Algiers, a romantic Charles Boyer vehicle about the jewel thief Pepe Le Mocco, the Casbah, and plenty of Middle Eastern exoticism and glamour. The film was a hit, as was Hedy, so she was quickly cast in a succession of exotic parts, such as the beautiful girl of mixed race in Lady of the Tropics, or a suicidal spurned lover opposite Spencer Tracy in I Take This Woman. In 1940, she had the chance to show off unsuspected comedic skills in the King Vidor satire about Russian propaganda, Comrade X. But the film was overshadowed by Ernst Lubitsch's Ninochka, which was released the previous year and was hugely acclaimed as Greta Garbo's first comedy. Hedy, however, had other things on her mind. In June 1941, she and her neighbor, the avant-garde composer George Antheil, formulated an idea of a secret communication system, and in August of the following year, they were granted US patent 2,292,387. Hedy may have hated being married to munitions expert Friedrich Mandl, but she learned a lot from him, and her idea was to make it much more difficult to jam or detect radio-controlled torpedoes by using frequency hopping between 88 different frequencies. It was an extraordinary idea, but one that was at least 2 decades ahead of its time. It wasn't used by the American Navy until technology caught up with Hedy's vision 20 years later, during the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. And the science behind the idea is widely used today as the basis for spread spectrum devices like mobile phones, wireless internet, and defense satellites. But throughout the 40s, Hedy kept churning out the movies. In between films, having divorced Mandl in 1937, she managed to marry a further 5 times. In her autobiography, Ecstasy and Me, published in 1967, she was also rumored to have had over 70 lovers of both genders, although she accused her ghostwriters of taking huge liberties with her life story. She hit pay dirt for Paramount with her final movie of the 40s, Cecil B. DeMille's Samson and Delilah. It was the highest-grossing film of 1949 and the biggest hit of her career. She followed it with the 1950 melodrama A Lady Without a Passport. With her looks fading and a penchant for plastic surgery taking hold, her movie career declined. She retired to Florida following her last film and then rounded out her career with further controversy when in 1966 she was arrested for shoplifting. But before her death in January 2000, she did at least receive some validation for her achievements, accepting an award in 1997 from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Also in her honor since 2005, Germany, Austria and Switzerland have all celebrated their annual Inventors' Day on the 9th of November, Hedy's birthday. In early 2008, rumors began surfacing of a Hollywood biopic with Charlize Theron playing Hedy. If it goes ahead, maybe the world will see her extraordinary achievements finally given their due recognition.
3,